Listen, y'all. I know people when they hear government contracting, they think of like military jets and $1 billion bridges and paperwork that makes your soul hurt, right? But tonight, I'm going to dive into five of the most weirdest, randomest government contracts in the local government that you never heard of. Like, someone actually was paid to do that? No way. Yes way. So things like getting paid real money to chase chickens or change toilet paper holders or do a silent acting at the library, right? So if you thought that this game wasn't for you, grab a snack because after tonight you might realize that your skill set is contract worthy too. All right. Even if all you know how to do is fix a dispenser or dance like Beyonce in the break room, let's get into it. Right. Five of the most weirdest contracts you ever heard of. Right. And some of these are bizarre, but all of them are local. So let's start here, right? And some of these I'm trying to take it serious, right? Bear with me, okay? Um, I'm never gonna apologize for my personality, right? Ever. So let's start with number one. Number one on the most randomest government contracts you have ever heard of. Number one is live chicken capture and removal. You know when you're in an area and you're like driving down the road or a park and you're like, wait a minute, are those random chickens running around? So the bid title for this bid was Capture and Removal of Chickens from City Parks. Some point somebody decided to let some chickens run free. When they decided to let these chickens run free, they were literally dumping live chickens in the park, right? The city needed a humane capture service and relocation to farms. So they needed a service where people would show up to the park, capture these chickens, and take them back and relocate them to the chicken coop because people were literally dumping random chickens in parks. And from there, the rest was history, right? So the county, local county, immediately needed somebody to fulfill that service, right? That's a weird random contract that you would not think of, right? We're all thinking janitorial, we're all thinking porter potties, we're all thinking, we're not thinking this way, right? So I'm excited to present this tonight because I think that a lot of these are good to know because all contracts are not self-explanatory, right? Like who would have thought that if you dump some chickens in a park, the county needs a service for you to come get them and relocate them and put them back in the chicken coop. So I'm gonna try to take this seriously, right? But my personality is really gonna get the best of me here because some of these are hilarious. And number one, I thought was hysterical, right? So they had to hire basically a chicken wrangler service. Like they needed someone to come out and get these random chickens out of the park and put them back where they belong, right? So especially the fact that this service even exists, right? You're riding. I've seen it before. Random chickens in a park, like who, like 30 chickens running around the park. Like what is going on here, right? So this proves that even chicken wranglers can win a local government contract, right? I thought that that was hilarious, right? Dumping live chickens in the park and then the county needing a service to come by and get these chickens back in the coop, right? So that's number one. And it just goes to show that anybody can win a contract. The services that you are good at, they probably hired the best chicken coop wranglers in town, right? But the thought is somebody bidded on that contract. A company that specialized in getting chickens back in the coop saw that government contract at a local site, bidded on it, and won. Right? Went out there, handled that work, put them chickens back, and move forward with their lives, right? So I thought that was funny. That's one of the bizarre ones, right? Number two is, let me see, because there's some really good ones here. I thought this one was interesting, right? So the procurement of 90 lithium ion batteries. So not the actual unit, they needed the batteries for the leaf blowers because what happened was they had brand new equipment. Who is it? What's? Are you okay? Leave him on the porch, babe. You can put him on the porch, honey. Erica, your friend's outside, honey. So it was cordless leaf blower batteries only. What happened was the city already owned expensive cordless blowers, but the batteries were always wearing out. So they only needed the lithium batteries and they had to purchase 90 of them. So they didn't need the entire unit, they just needed the batteries, right? So this proves that you don't have to supply the full equipment. You can literally just supply the replacement parts and be okay with that, right? I don't know if that's really so bizarre, but it's something that you don't think about because they didn't need the entire unit. They just needed those batteries. That was their main focus because every time they would go out to clean the park, they couldn't do a full cleaning because the units that they had, the batteries were going out, right? So somebody came through, provided 90 lithium batteries for leaf blowers, and they made money off of that, right? Somebody actually provides that service, like, hey, we can get you that product, right? There's a lot of focus on the parks being clean. Parks and recreation spend a lot of money on keeping the parks clean, right? Because parks are places to spend time with your family, right? Our kids love the parks. We love the pavilions. We love to share family time at the park, even if it's just putting a blanket down and reading a book. You want the parks to be clean because the minute they're not, you're going to complain. And I think that parks and recreations do a fantastic job of keeping on top of their contracts and keeping on top of keeping the parks in clean order, right? They do a really good job of that. So if you're in retail, wholesale, or reselling, you can make money off of a contract like that. And it's a very random contract that you wouldn't think of, right? All they needed was the batteries. That's it. There was another one on here that I really liked that I thought was, let me look. It was for a children's birthday party and they needed a mime. You know, the guy that comes through with the face paint and he's like doing all of this and doing all of that and like all this fancy something I could never pull off, right? Um, so the bid title was Children's Program Performance, Mime Artist Needed for a One-Time Event. So someone who does a mime service, right? They wanted to turn the event into something more creative and diverse, so they hired a mime. Like a mime can win government contracts, right? He could provide that service for kids to have a great time at a birthday party. And this is really one for the creatives. If you dance or you sing or you paint or things like that, there's space for you in local contracts. And Marcus, Moonrock, how are you? Is that Kathy? I think that is Kathy. Hi, honey. um, that falls in a category of someone that I know. Hi. I'm so happy you're here. I love that name, Moonrock. That's different. um, so tonight we're talking about 5 bizarre contracts that you wouldn't or you wouldn't normally think of, right? Everybody thinks of janitorial, cleaning supplies, containers, transportation, but these are a little bit out of the box, right? So the city library system hosted a summer event. That's what happened to engage kids, and they wanted diverse, fun. Erica, your father's here, honey. Yes, ma'am. I think so. No, I got too much going on. A mime performance was part of their literacy, arts, and programming. to draw families in. So they wanted something that was like diversity that they can bring to the event and make it different, right? So you don't need to be a construction company to get a city check. If a mime can win a government contract and offer that services, and I can guarantee you they found the best mime. Whoever bidded on that in a mime service, I mean, I'm pretty sure he showed up and he did it big, right? Because that's a really cool government contract to win. Like, yeah, I've been on government contracts. I just won one for mime services. Or think about this, right? I'm a logistics company. And what I do is I go into Google and I search mime services in Buffalo, New York. Then I subcontract and connect with someone who offers that service because maybe there's not mimes that know about government contracting, but I do. And if I saw something like that, I would search in Google, where can I find a mime in Buffalo, New York, and ask him to provide this one time service. And then we both collaborate and make a profit. So he's not just getting a check. I'm not just getting a check. We're collaborating and doing it together, right? So that is super cool too. Because if I would have saw something like that, that's very outside of the box, I believe that I would have bid on that. So mime is number 2, and then this one was pretty easy, like straight to the point. Toilet paper dispenser replacement services for the city of Dallas. First of all, how random is that? Second of all, how easy does that sound? It sounds really easy. Like the city owned facilities, libraries, parks, and recreation centers had outdated or broken toilet paper dispensers, and they had to hire a company to come in and fix these dispensers. Simple job, straight to the point. These people probably got, sorry about that, these people probably got a list of county buildings that had issues with the toilet paper dispenser, and they provided a service at each location, once again, helping the county, right? It could be the smallest thing. It could be for chickens running around in the park that got to go back to the coop. It could be for mimes at an event at a library, and it can be toilet paper dispenser replacements. There's room for everyone in government contracting. I don't care what kind of service you provide, right? What you are passionate about. I guarantee you there's a contract to bring you into the government space and help you to win government contracts right away. And if there's not a service for you, which I'm pretty sure there is, you can subcontract, also known as middleman, middlewoman. Okay. So there's space for everybody. And what happened here was instead of assigning internal staff, people who already work in the building, because some of these people have janitorial people that work in the facility, but the city outsourced the job to a vendor who could quickly remove, install, and maintain the dispensers. So they outsource the work, right? Because they have a budget to be able to do that, which is fantastic, right? So that's another one. That's number 3. So someone got a check to fix toilet paper holders. If you're in maintenance, janitorial, or even a handyman with the right tools, you can literally wipe up this money. You can literally wipe up this money. Okay. So um, I thought that one was very interesting, right? So we got people clocking government contracts and winning in multiple different products and in spaces, right? Services and products. You have people really coming out here and winning government contracts for the things you never even thought about, right? Also, if you're not checking your local portal every week, you're literally missing out on free money. So let's see. That one was different. I really didn't understand it. Here's one. So this one was for the county jail in Georgia. Now, it's probably a good idea to mention that the county jails and the federal prisons spend a lot of money on government contracting. When they place orders for bulk orders for food, bulk orders for toilet paper, there is so many things that the federal and county prisons need. Clothing, um, pads, tampons, toilet paper, napkins, cleaning supplies, anything that you could supply a jail facility with, mattresses, linens. they spend a lot of money, county and state and fed. They spend a lot of money in the prison system. Okay, they have a set budget that they have to spend money on. So I think it's a good thing to target the prisons and the county, because you can supply, like, there was a county bid that was out there one time. It was for like 2,000 pounds of corn. I'm like, where's 2,000 pounds of corn going to the county, right? 2,000-pound bags of sugar. Where is that going? To the county prisons, right? They spend a lot of money. So parks and recreations spend a lot. Federal prisons spend a lot. All right, these are things to think of, right? So emergency denture services in the county jail in Georgia, right? I never thought I would see a contract for some dentures, right? So the name of the bid title was On Call Denture Services for Inmates, right? Now, this is something you have to think through a little bit. You want to get somebody who you're going to be honest with. You don't want to hire somebody who is going to go into the prisons who has no licensing or understanding of what goes on in a county prison, right? Or a county jail or a federal prison. Either way, right? You're going to have to be more open and honest about this one. Listen, we have some guys, county jail, Georgia, who need dentures. We have a budget set aside. In the contract, they're going to tell you a lot of information, but you want to make sure that it's someone who's familiar with being in that type of environment. You don't just want to send a random dentist into the county jail, because it's going to be a mess, right? So you want to make sure that you're open and honest. So what happened here was the county jail, um, when inmates lose or break their dentures, they're legally entitled to replacements, right? So the county needed someone on call to fabricate. Okay, so it looks like they didn't have to go on site. The county needs someone on call to fabricate and fit new dentures. So fit, I mean, I think that means, right, to put in and to kind of adjust, right, or mold. So maybe they did have to go on site, right? So this is a healthcare contract. And guess what? If you're a mobile dentist or a dental assistant, this could be a lane for you, right? Just understand what comes with it. Don't put yourself in an environment where you could potentially get harmed, right? Or your practice is a local office and now you're in an environment where it could potentially be unsafe. So I would be more open and honest about a contract like this, just because you want someone to know what they're walking into, right? And like, subscribe if you're new here. Click the notification bell. Every time you do, you will see my face. If you were in the masterclass today, thank you for the investment, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to teach you what I know about government contracting. Today was really fun. The masterclass that I had, and I'm working on putting another one together for August 23rd, right? I literally enjoyed myself today with the people that were in the room. The fact that I'm blessed enough to be able to teach them, but they taught me a lot as well. So if you're here and you were from the masterclass today, thank you again, right? And I know you're like, I just saw her earlier. Oh, she here again? Yeah, I'm here again. Just because we were in a 3-hour masterclass does not mean I'm not coming on live at 9 o'clock. I promised y'all that, right? And the consistency of it, I have to do it. It's just how I'm wired, right? So I love y'all individually, and thank you. So number 4, this one is different too. Frog relocations services, right? City of San Diego, California. They needed frogs to be moved around. So what happened was the city had to build a new stormwater facility, but the site was protected like a wildlife habitat. And environmental rules required licensed biologists to safely trap the frogs, right? I know, Kathy, it's something you would not think about, right? Like, who knew you can win local money, local contracts to trap frogs, right? Like, who even provides that kind of service, right? Because they mentioned biologists, but even frogs got a budget. Yes, right. Kathy, I'm putting a link together for August 24th. No, 23rd. It's one of the two, Sunday or Monday. So I have to put a link together. and that'll be done by tonight. So I'll send you the link, and then we can go from there. But I will definitely get you in. So I had one today. It's 30 days out, so it's August 24th. I will definitely get you in. I will send you the link. Um, or even someone who can partner with them. So this is why environmental consultants and wildlife experts, or even someone who can partner with them, can make bank in government contracting. It is something that you would not think of, right? And if I was to contract with these people, I would look for somebody who has some kind of environmental expertise and can get out here and get these frogs. Just like somebody had to get them chickens, get them frogs, get them under control, right? They gotta be put in their place, right? Chickens, frogs, sheeps, and here's one that I thought was real crazy. John, how are you? It's nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Um, Make sure you put your friend, you share the live, because I go live every night at 9. So share the live with him and then have him come into the community, because I'm looking forward to meeting him as well. So here's a bonus, right? Did I only do 4? I think I only did 4, right? Are we missing one? I think we're missing one. All right, no, we did the mime, we did the toilet paper, we did the cordless. I thought the chicken coop was hilarious. Okay, I gotta get past that, right? Because my personality really showed on that one. But think about this. Now, this is something that people don't think about. I have seen a guy on another platform. What happened was he won a government contract, and he was a barbershop owner. What he did was go into the county jails and cut hair. Then I seen another guy not only win it local, but he won it federal, right? Barbershop services. There's government contracts out here for barbershop services. The owner would grab all his tools, grab his employees, 2 or 3 of them, head down to the county jail with all of his tools, his smock, his cut, everything that you need to cut someone's hair, right? And it was literally a 1 year government contract. So consistently every Friday, he would show up to the county jails and get paid to cut hair. So if a haircut was $20, he was probably adding 20, 40 on top of that and making profit. There is room for you in this space. Whatever service you provide, whatever the name of your company is, whatever products you offer, there is a place for you here, right? I seen one, I thought this was wild, to shave sheep. Somebody's got to come in and shave the sheep. I don't know. I don't want to be a part of it, but I do understand that there's a budget set aside for so many different things you wouldn't even imagine, right? One is porter potties. You know how you see porter potties around the park? Or when you go to like festivals in the summertime, you see porter potties. Some of them have like hand washing stations. I love those ones. Like there's a hand washing station attached. Those are government contracts, right? They are. When you see a porter potty, someone provided that service to the parks and recreations. And when I say parks and recreations, that's an agency. That's someone who's spending money on a product or service, right? Um, when you see tents at festivals, 9 times out of 10, those are government contracts, right? So there is so many multiple different ways to win a government contract in this space, product or service wise. Like you would not think that a contract would go out for dentures in the jails, or mimes in the library, or frogs, or chickens, right? That chicken one really got me, right? Because I've been in situations where, or what about turkeys? Back in November, I was over by the airport in Buffalo, New York, and there were turkeys. Like, I'm not even lying to you. Turkeys were walking down the street on Arrow Drive in Cheektowaga, Buffalo, New York. And I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all just go let these turkeys cross the street. Like people were stopping for them. People were like taking pictures. Like first of all, we see turkeys all the time. Second of all, somebody need to go get them turkeys. They are out of control. There's like 30 of them at one time, right? I guarantee you there was a contract for somebody to get them turkeys. Either that or they were going on the table because it was really close to Thanksgiving. It was close to Thanksgiving. No lie. There's a service out here for all of you. There's no reason why you cannot win a contract, right? It's about thinking outside of the box. Every single contract that I just mentioned, all five of them, are outside of the box thinking, right? It's something that you would not think of, right? Turkeys. When I saw that, I'm like, you know what? I had enough of New York, right? Like, why are turkeys out here in the streets like this? Same thing with chickens. That I think that's why I thought the chicken contract was funny because I have been in situations where I'm like riding somewhere and I'm like, is that a chicken? Or I went to Key West, Florida one time. It was like chickens everywhere. I'm like, do y'all just like do they own apartments? Do they run businesses? Like y'all have chickens all over the place, and they're like, oh, they're family. They're family. Like, no, no, thank you. Like, get these crazy chickens away from me because they're aggressive, right? So I thought that that one was pretty funny. And let me see. We'll do two more for a bonus. Kathy, I'll make sure that I get you. I get you the link. Let me see. We'll do one more. What I'm trying to do is to try to get you to think outside the box, right, and understand that. Oh, I like that one. Um, Here's one: Harry Potter costume rentals. Oh, that's different. Harry Potter costume rentals in the city of Orlando, Florida. This is very different. So the bid title, when you look it up in the portal, was Wizard themed costume rental for Literacy Week. That's really different. So the reason it was needed is because the city hosted a Harry Potter themed literacy week, and people love Harry Potter. So I'm pretty sure it was a huge event, right? I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people in attendance, right? If you're new here, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell every time you do. You will see my face, and I also go live every night at 9 p.m. So character costumes for staffs and volunteers, right? So you mean to tell me that someone's getting paid to basically wholesale Harry Potter costumes, bring them on site for people to wear, and obviously this is a rental because you're not gonna keep the Harry Potter stuff, right? You're just gonna rent it. Somebody probably made bank on that contract, right? So if you got a costume business or even just know where to get them wholesale, that's a bid that you can win in your sleep. It's costumes, right? You can easily Google Harry Potter costume companies or costume companies in the area. Simple, straight to the point. A lot of us are overthinking this, right? We do this self sabotage thing. I have to be honest with you, and I'm not just saying this to say this. Like government contracting is fun. It puts you in a space like networking events with other people who share similarities about the entrepreneurial journey that they're on, work that you're doing for a community, right? I explained this today. I explained this on the masterclass today, right? And it's just to get you to think outside of the box. You are in a county where your kids like to play at a park, right? But this park is tore up. Okay. You don't know why your kids like to go there. You're like, why? Is that Mr. Softy? It's 10 o'clock at night. You're in a county where your kids go to a park, right? And you don't know what they like about this park. They just like it, but you think it's tore up, right? So it. You think it's tore up. Like, why do y'all always want to go there? Why do y'all like that park? The slides are hot, the swings creak and they're breaking. The sand is no longer sand anymore. The wood chips is no longer wood chips. It's just a park that you don't like, but your kids love it. Then you go on the county portal, and what you see is a local government contract for a budget that was set aside to fix that specific park. That would make me happy. That is something I would want to potentially bid on to be able to help the community and create my kids. There will be a deeper meaning to create my kids a brand new park, right? Because they love that park. As a mother, I can't stand it. Now I get the opportunity to help the community come together, help my children. Yeah, Kathy, girl, it's so funny that you said that because you're talking about across the street from Nichols. Across the street from Nichols at Delaware Park by the zoo was a government contract. Yes, yes. We got some Buffalo Bills fans in the house. Buffalo, New York is on the map. I am so happy you are here because you caught that and you understood that. And it was a government contract. They hired a company to come in, rip that park to shreds, and put it all back together. And they did a phenomenal job. And you know what? Another park that's getting done right now in Buffalo, New York, that me and my kids love, that we are so upset, but we know when it opens, it's going to be beautiful, is Buffalo Harbor. Buffalo Harbor Park, they are doing something up there that is extravagant. It's not going to open until summer of 2026, but they're adding splash pads, they're adding kiddie pools, big pools, a park. I mean, the work that they're doing up there is fantastic, right? So I love that someone's here from Buffalo. I love that, right? So yes, that was a government contract, and they did a fantastic job. So Buffalo Harbor is in the works, and if you go up to Buffalo Harbor, they have it all blocked off, but there's signs up there that say things like New York State Parks and Recreations. That's an agency. That's the agency that posted the contract on the website, right? So if you would have bidded on that, you would have been awarded by New York State Parks and Recreations. They're the ones that are in charge, and they do a I think that they do a great job in Buffalo. There's a lot of parks that are very clean and well maintained. Delaware Park is one of them. Shoshone Park is another. What is the one over off of the 33? Point Lake is very clean. I think that parks do a great job here. So yes, a lot of different contracts to choose from, right? But today, trying to get you to think out of the box. So therapeutic, this one's different too. The bid title was provide a petting zoo for mental health awareness. I feel like that would make me happy. I want to get to pet some animals. Like there's a little llama right there. um, County Health Department in Colorado needed a therapeutic petting zoo. That's so sweet. The county's health department organized a mind, body, and wellness event to reduce stress and mental health. Research was showing that animal assisted activities were needed, like friendly, fluffy animals were needed, right, to lower anxiety and boost moods. And I really do believe that it works, right? I absolutely adore my cat, and anytime I see there's a cat cafe in Buffalo. I don't know if you've ever been there, Kathy. I haven't, but I heard about it. They have all these random cats, and you can have coffee and matcha and things like that. So I bet that reduces anxiety too, right? Rather than hiring a big entertainment company, they put out an RFP for a small local farm, right? Where are you looking? Is this a nationwide site? No, this is just like data analytics, like random. It's all over. It's like Colorado, California. It's just like random, like an article, right? Like a couple articles that I found and stacked them together. Yeah, so it's just random. This one right here is County Health Department of Colorado, just to show people like this is going on all over, right? It doesn't matter the state or the county. Like they're purchasing products and services at a threshold that you wouldn't think of, right? And I wouldn't think of either. So but not only do I like to educate and inspire, I also like to get people to think outside of the box, because There's a lot of services out here that people offer that we have never heard of. Like, who would have known that there was a service to shave sheep? There was a federal contract that was won for somebody to come out and shave a sheep, multiple sheep, right? I would hire a company to do that. I don't offer that services. I'm in logistics. But that is very strange and random, right? You wouldn't think that somebody was making money off of that. And there was probably only one to two bidders. Who knows, right? Who knows? So somebody got paid taxpayer dollars to let people pet fluffy animals for mental health. Is that better? I think we're dying. I also have we're working on it. We're getting some upgrades. One of my close colleagues is helping me get a better microphone and a better camera. So even though these are nice to have, I need some upgrades in my life, right? I've been consistently on YouTube for 56, 55, 56 nights in a row at 9 p.m. If I'm not here live, then the next morning you'll see a video from me.